Dude, I've got it. I've seen the future.
What are you talking about?
I've got it. I have the winning lottery numbers.
Okay.
No,
sure. You
think
you have the winning lottery numbers.
No. I've seen the future, man. I've had this vision. I see it. We're gonna be rich. Okay?
Sure.
Yeah. No, I already put a down payment on a house, a yacht. We're gonna get Ferraris up in here. No, it's perfect. I've got it. Okay. I've got it.
2 hours later.
But I was so sure.
I know. But I tried to tell you. Welcome to College and Bacon. I am Jason.
And I'm Eric.
We are back for another weekend of fun episodes here.
Yeah, we are.
There are some TV shows out there. We'll get right into it here. There are some TV shows out there that have a knack, I would say, for predicting the future.
That's true. There's a lot of shows out there that, they make bold predictions.
It's odd. Some of it is very strange. Yeah. And what's even more weird is that a lot of these TV shows, they're not just kind of general predictions. They get very, very specific.
Yes.
And whatever happens in the TV show sometimes ends up happening in real life years later.
A lot stranger than the normal. Just say, it's gonna rain on certain week or something like that.
Exactly. But The Simpsons, for example, there's so much on the internet about The Simpsons predicting the future.
Very famous for it.
It's odd. It's really weird. And by the way, do you watch The Simpsons?
Occasionally.
I
don't really keep up with it, but I like it.
Anyway, so today we're going to bring you 5 TV shows that have mysteriously predicted the future in the past.
Yes.
Starting with number 1, Quantum Leap, the show. Now, I've never heard of that show.
No, I've never heard it, seen it.
I'm glad we're on the same page with that.
We're even.
Quantum Leap was a hugely popular NBC series that featured a quantum physicist who becomes lost in time. Though it's a bit dated by today's standards, Quantum Leap retains a cult following. It also proved to be eerily accurate when it came to predicting a certain sports game. See, this is what I mean when it's very specific.
So a actual sports game.
An actual sports game. During an episode from season 2, Sam leaps into a high school football player who has to prevent a friend from throwing a game. At one point, the character watches the 1996 Super Bowl number 30, where it's claimed during the game that, quote, the Steelers are trailing by 3 points. That's what they say in the show. The Steelers are trailing by 3 points.
All right, not too unrealistic for a Super Bowl.
6 years later, the game was played at the real Super Bowl 30. The Pittsburgh Steelers played the Dallas Cowboys and actually did trail their opponents by 3 points when the score was 20-17 with 4 minutes left to play.
They granted them a stay of execution.
Give the Bam, and Bam walks into the end zone for the Steeler touchdown, and we got a dandy in Super Bowl 30.
Now that's pretty weird.
That blows my mind.
That's pretty weird.
That blows my mind.
Because they get the specific, Super Bowl. Super Bowl, not 29, not 31, Super Bowl 30.
Exactly.
And they get the score mark.
And they get the team.
Yes, and the team.
So they're right on 3 accounts.
3 counts.
By the end of this episode, I'm going to be a conspiracy theorist.
You think so?
I think so.
So you think maybe the referees played a part in this?
You never know. Maybe
Commissioner of NFL was like, here, we have to have the score like this.
By the end of this episode, I'm gonna go home and be one of those bloggers that writes the websites and stuff, the conspiracies.
Open your eyes, sheeple.
All right, let's get on to number 2 here with a show that Eric you actually like very much, Parks and Recreation.
Love that show, one of my favorites.
Tell them why you like that show.
I don't know,
because I've watched a few episodes of it, but you love it, right?
I think it's hysterical. It has a little bit of a character for everyone out there. They all play on each other quite a bit, and it's a lot of ridiculous shenanigans, but shenanigans. Parks and Recreation actually foreshadowed the Chicago Cubs breaking their 108-year-old curse to win the World Series in perfect timing. Now listen to this. In the 2015 episode titled Ron and Jammy. Do you know that episode? Good episode.
Are you a big enough fan to know that episode?
I am aware of what happens in said episode.
In the episode titled Ron and Jammy, the crew visits Lucy in Chicago during the summer of 2017, where she tells them the town is in great spirits because the Cubs took the title in the recent postseason.
Yeah, I think you're really going to like it here. And obviously everyone's in a really great mood now because of the Cubs winning the series.
In case you've been living under a rock, the Cubs won the World Series in November 2016 for the first time since 1908.
Here's the 0-1. This is going to be a tough play. The Cubs win the World Series!
108 years. What are the chances of that? I mean, you got to really think about
crazy.
That. What are the chances?
It's a big, bold prediction to happen.
This is why, see, there's a very fine line, I think, between a coincidence and, like, something weird's going on here. I'm a conspiracy theorist.
But at the same time, 2015, the Cubs had some good prospects. They were looking like a very good team. 2015, they almost made it to the World Series.
So when they filmed this episode of Parks and Recreation, do you think they actually looked at the Cubs team and said, let's try to predict this? Or was it just a coincidence?
I don't know. It's pretty spectacular that they didn't predict it. It's no Back to the Future, who was off by, a year?
Yeah.
Back in the 80s when they predicted Back to the Future 2, which is crazy.
Great movies, by the way. All right, let's move on to number 3 here.
Still.
Star Trek is notable for predicting a number of future technologies, such as touchscreen computers and flip phones. One episode that centered around time travel had a bizarrely specific prediction, though, that was dead on the money. A 1967 episode entitled Tomorrow is Yesterday.
Okay.
That messes with your mind a little bit. Tomorrow is yesterday. Or is yesterday tomorrow? I don't know. But in that episode...
So, today.
Right. Yeah. Tomorrow is yesterday. So today, in the present.
I don't know, just keep reading.
1967 episode, Tomorrow is Yesterday, had a line that stated a manned mission to the moon was due to take off on a Wednesday.
This is the 5:30 news summary. Cape Kennedy. The first manned moonshot is scheduled for Wednesday, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All 3 astronauts who are to make this historic...
Manned moonshot. That was in the late 1960s.
This was information used by the crew in the show to confirm that they were in the year 1969. The real-life Apollo 11 actually launched on the same year, 1969, on a Wednesday.
Now, this is one of the ones that I found
pretty
funny. Well, it was just the whole thing. If we think about it, what if everyone at NASA, not that they predicted the launch, but there was just the people at NASA were like, hey, remember that one Star Trek episode? What if we just launched on a Wednesday?
So they don't take into account weather patterns or anything like that when they're actually ready when the ship's built. No. We're launching in 1969 on a Wednesday. Why? Because Star Trek did.
I'm saying they had everything ready. I'm not saying it just happened to be 1969 when they had everything ready to go, and they're like, wouldn't it be just kind of funny if we launched on a Wednesday to coincide with the TV show?
Oddly enough, and call me a conspiracy theorist, I would not put it past them to do that.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh man,
what's the next?
We're gonna get some interesting comments here. People of Interest is the name of the show. The episode titled No Good Deed from the 4th season of this U.S. political thriller focuses on an NSA whistleblower who discovers that his agency is conducting illegal surveillance.
Okay.
He alerts the press and finds himself pursued by the government. Half a year later, an eerily similar scenario befell the real-life whistleblower, Edward Snowden.
Now, this is the one where I'm going to go full conspiracy theory.
All right, well, before you go full conspiracy theory here, let me just point out again, only half a year. So they made this prediction, I guess you could say, and then half a year later was the whole Edward Snowden. Yeah. All right, Eric, take it away with your conspiracy.
What my theory is, the government or the NSA just had an idea that there was a whistleblower within the agency. Okay.
Oh gosh.
So they aired this episode, had this episode designed to weed out said whistleblower. Hear me out.
The Baconites are never going to look at us the same way.
But hear me out. Think about it.
Maybe.
They weeded them out. They played oh no, I'm getting caught.
We are saying some things in this episode.
I'm just saying. I wasn't there, but I'm just saying.
Let's move on to this last one. The Simpsons,
of course,
have predicted the future numerous times in the past. Way back in 1994, the cartoon featured a plot in which it transpires that Springfield Elementary's cafeteria staff had been serving horse meat on the sly, prompting a scandal. The same thing happened on an industrial scale in the UK in 2013.
All right, that's
almost 20 years later. There's a few different things that I want to address here. First of all, the conspiracy part of it. That's odd.
Of course.
I mean, horse meat, that kind of thing, you'd think doesn't really happen that often, I hope.
But at the same time, I feel like that 20-year gap is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if they've been storing horse meat that whole time, I feel like it would have been discovered sooner.
Yeah, maybe so. I'd be kicking myself if I didn't just address this right now.
Okay.
Serving up horse meat?
Oh, yeah. It sounds awful, but...
Why? I don't know.
What I'm saying, though, if you had to, survival situation...
Don't put me in this situation!
Survival situation, all you had left was people and horses.
Yes, I'd eat the horse, okay?
All right. That's all I need to know.
All right, everybody. Well, there's 5 times TV predicted the future in the past. Comment below. Tell us what you think. We'd really appreciate it. Also, give us a like and subscribe. We'd appreciate that as well.
Let us know what other predictions we missed in TV shows.
I'm sure that there are so many other TV shows out there that have similar coincidences, if you want to call them that, conspiracies, if you want to call them that. Comment below. Tell us what you found. Also, new episodes Saturdays and Sundays, and check us out on social media. What do we got, Eric?
All right. Jayson and Eric are the stars of the failed Batman spinoff, Batboy and Robbie.
Do you want to be Batboy or Robbie?
You can be Batboy, buddy.
Okay. Hey, Robbie, we gotta climb this building here.
Gee willikers, Batboy. You think we can make it up there?
I think we can. I'm gonna send my grappling hook up there, and we gotta hurry because she's tied to the device, and if we don't save her, she'll blow to pieces.
Of course.
All right?
The king. So here I go. The king has her, right? Right. The king, leaves his signature king card.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna throw my grappling hook up. Ready? Here we go, Batboy. I mean, Robbie.
I'm your Batboy.
This is why we're canceled, man.